just play through the first levels as well. In the beginning, the game is just the same as the demo, but after a while you'll start to see some new levels here. You can play through them quickly. Let's do some mantle for effect, and let's hide these FPS details. Let's do this one again. Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward pathway had been lost. Ah me, how hard a thing it is to say, what was this forest savage, rough and stern, which in the very thought renews the fear. So bitter is it, death is little more. I really should have someone do voiceover for this, but preferably someone who can actually speak pretty nice sounding old English. You can message me on Twitter if you're interested, but I don't really have a budget for this game, so it's probably not going to happen. So this level again was just about figuring out the camera movements, pretty much, how it works. Let's play with the mouse a bit. Cannot well repeat how there I entered, so full was I of slumber at the moment in which I had abandoned the true way. So this is a really classic text, and yeah, some people are saying Dante is having some kind of mental breakdown or something, because he just feels lost and he's out in the forest, unsure what to do with his life, I guess. He's probably 35 years old here, because midway upon the journey of our life, back then in the 13th century, people said normal lifetime was about 70 years. Among those was I, who are in suspense, and a fair saintly lady called to me in such wise, I besought her to command me. Her eyes were shining brighter than the star, and she began to say, gentle and low, with voice angelical, in her own language, Beatrice am I, who bid thee go. I came from there where I fain return. Right. Actually, I played these levels before, and you can try them yourself. I'm gonna try to do them a bit quickly. These few levels in the tutorial I tried to polish as much as I could, so I played them a lot of times myself. And here Dante is reaching this mountain. The sun is shining on the top of the mountain. And this was the ladder tutorial. You learn that you can, you pretty much learn how ladders work, and ladders appear in most of the game. Skipping the pantry one. And this one was about stacking these ones in the correct order. So I'm looking here and I'm doing the complement kind of. So like that. We do them all in one go now. Like this side. Pretty cool. And this is he's running down the mountain now, and he's meeting Virgil, an old poet, even older than Dante, that Dante looks up to very much. So Dante will be the guiding. Virgil will be the guide, guiding Dante through the 9 circles of hell, just like in the poem. It's pretty much the game just follows the poem. I mean, the poem obviously has nothing to do with pushing boxes into place and so on, but the atmosphere around it is supposed to be heavily influenced from the poem. Another solution to this one. Right, so that's Virgil. And here they come to the first night. Day was departing and the animals fall asleep and so on. And this is one of the trickier puzzles in the demo. Looks almost impossible, but you realize that you can use this log to push the other one. And then you can use this one to push this one. And then again this one like this. Yeah. It's a bit tricky. I mean, yeah. You can definitely figure this one out because there's just this one tree here, so there's not too many possibilities. I'm trying to keep some middle road, but keeping the puzzles challenging, but still not frustrating. It's a hard balance. But, yeah. Probably, honestly, this demo is a bit easier than the full game. So it'll definitely be challenged in the full game. If you think this looks too easy. And they reach the gates of hell. Oh, and here there's actually more text in the full version. I forgot that I changed that. So they read the inscription. Through me the way is to the city Dolent. Through me the way is to eternal dole. Through me the way among the people lost. Justice incited my sublime creator, created me divine omnipotence, the highest wisdom and the primal love. Before me there were no created things, only eternal, and I eternal last. All hope abandon, ye who enter in. Really epic. I like that stuff. So they find the gates of hell. I found this book, by the way, when I was a kid, teenager maybe, among my grandma's books. And I remember thinking, wow, this is really metal, kind of. This brutal punishments of people in hell. Right, so they find the gates of hell here. Here the game begins properly. They come to the vestibule of hell. Here lives the uncommitted, who were opportunists taking neither the side of good nor evil. Here all suspicion needs must be abandoned, all cowardice needs must be extinct. For to the place have come where I have told thee, thou shalt behold the people dolorous, who have forgone the good of intellect. And after he had laid his hand on mine with joyful mien, whence I was comforted, he led me in among the secret things. I play these puzzles a lot, so I can just see the solution, but it shouldn't be too hard. Right. This one we saw before if you watched the beginning of the demo, but the next one I think is new actually. So this one I like because you get this very symmetric solution when you do it like that. Okay. Languages diverse, horrible dialects, accents of anger, words of agony, and voices high and hoarse, with sound of hands, made up a tumult that goes whirling on, forever in that air forever black, even as the sand doth when the whirlwind breathes. He has this very colorful and poetic language. It's really cool. The sound of hands. Right, so this one looks similar to the last one, but the last puzzle was an example of a symmetric puzzle having a symmetric solution. And this one is also a very symmetric puzzle, but there's no nice solution like in the last one. So you can try some things, but it's easy to get stuck like that. So this one is actually a bit tricky. You have to play around a bit, and what you have to figure out in this one, let's just restart. What you have to figure out is if you push too many boxes forward. Pushing a box forward is always a bad idea. So I think you can, let's see, this one you have to push forward, and if you just push all these boxes on the left side forward, the rest of the puzzle will be okay. So now I can do something similar to the first puzzle. Okay, so that's the kind of trickier version of the same puzzle. This miserable mode maintains the melancholy souls of those who lived without infamy or praise. These have no longer any hope of death, and this blind life of theirs is so debased they envious are of every other fate. No fame of them the world permits to be. Misericord and justice both disdain them. Let us not speak of them, but look and pass. Oh, I'm not actually playing the demo anymore, am I? Showing some of the full game. It's more like it. Right. This puzzle I was playing around because I'm learning to program, and here I wrote kind of an AI, or what should you call it, to construct random levels and trying to make, in a finite space, make a level that takes the longest to solve, right? So this puzzle is actually the result of that. So there's a gate here, and you have to realize that you can push it back and forth like this. It's a simple puzzle, but it shows you this principle. You can alternate sides. Right, and this one comes this train of people. Dante can't even believe so many people died, but they're in this hell. And this is the first puzzle where you realize that you can actually stack boxes on top of your head. So what I did was I pushed this stack into the tree here, and when I push it one more step, this branch here will block the top two boxes, and I'll get them on my head like this. And here one box will fall off like that, and here another one will fall off. So now I can get this one into place, but this one is stuck forever, it seems like. So what you have to realize on this one is that you can only actually, since this is like a 3-block high gap, you can only carry one box on top of your head. So if you use this branch here, you can push off just one box and carry that one across. So this level is about learning how to carry stuff on your head. There'll be a few more puzzles on this theme. In this first, this is not even a circle of hell. This is just the vestibule of hell, where all these souls go that were not good and not bad. They were just kind of opportunists taking neither side of good nor evil. These miscreants, who never were alive, were naked and were stung exceedingly by gadflies and hornets that were there. These did their faces irrigate with blood, which with their tears commingled at their feet by the disgusting worms was gathered up. So I mean, it's pretty metal, right? Dante is hardcore. You try to make the worms at their feet drinking the blood. So I had a lot of fun making this game. Right, and here you have some stacks of boxes. So from last level you learned that you can carry a box on your head by pushing against something like this. And now I can actually climb the ladder here with a box on top of my head. I can push it off up here. And yeah, I mean, the first thing you do is you locate the path, right? So it seems if I can just get across this gap here, I can climb up the ladder and we're good. So here, this way I get one box into this gap, but I need 4 boxes, it seems. And I mean, you can do the same thing here. Oops. But you see, the problem is that I can only get one box from doing this. And Now there seems to be no way to get the other boxes. So this is good, but how do I get another box there? The problem here is, of course, that the corner, I can't turn this corner with the boxes. So you restart. You have to figure out that the only way is to carry 4 boxes to the top here. And that means we should have all boxes stacked. So I can actually do that. Oops. So I put this tower here, push this one off, and I have a stack of 6 here. Go like that, I get 4 of them. Yeah, so you just have to accept this is how the game works. You can carry any amount of boxes on your head. It's just laws of physics here. That has infinite strength. Like that, now we're good. And lo, coming towards us in a boat, an old man, hoary with the hair of eld, crying, "Woe unto you, ye souls depraved! Hope never more to look upon the heavens. I come to lead you to the other shore, to the eternal shades and heat and frost." That's Charon from Greek mythology. And here you can push down these towers, but you try to push them forward. You realize that if you have any boxes left over, you get stuck here because you got too many boxes. So what you have to do is figure out that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. There's an 8 high pillar here, so I need 8 plus 8, 16 boxes. So there's a small math puzzle here. You have to figure out that you can take, let's get rid of this map by the way. Maybe like this for a while. There's some options, you can play it however you prefer. Right, so you have to figure out what sum of these stacks become exactly 16. And I'm trying to make like a good puzzle like of this type. For me is you shouldn't have to break out your paper and pen necessarily, but you should realize it's what the problem is, and you should be able to kind of do it in your head. So if you try this one with 8, you need 8 more, and you actually have 1 stack of 5 and 1 stack of 2. It shouldn't be too hard to guess that one. Perfect, we're across. All those who perish in the wrath of God here meet together out of every land, and ready are they to pass over the river. Charon, the demon, with eyes of gleed, beckoning to them, collects them all together, beats with his oar whoever lags behind. So they depart across the dusky wave, and ere upon the other side they land. Again on this side a new troop assembles. So all the people who die, they go to hell. They come to this first river of hell called Acheron, and Charon have to take them to the other side. Yeah, and this is just a simple level to show you that you can control this boat here. And this is not really a special mechanic. This is just a set of boxes that are glued together like this, pushing them. I'm trying to make simple rules from the game and then take it in as many directions as possible. And now there's a log here in the way, blocking my path, but I can actually, there's no way for me to get out of this boat, obviously, but if I go here, there's a ladder I can reach. So push that one out of the way, and like that. And here's another ladder. I guess you have to rotate to see it. We're through. Right, and now actually we're entering the first real circle of hell, called Limbo. True is it that upon the verge I found me of an abysmal valley dolorous that gathers thunder of infinite ululations. Obscure, profound it was, and nebulous, so that by fixing mine eyes on its depth, so that by fixing on its depth my sight, nothing whatever I discerned therein. Honestly, one of the big reasons I made this dictionary is for myself. Like, I struggle with this Longfellow translation sometimes. English is not my first language. Alright, now we're entering the first circle of hell, limbo, wherein the souls unbaptized rest, the souls of the unbaptized rest. Here also wanders the souls of the virtuous pagans who lived before Christ. So, according to Dante, and I think also according to Christian teaching at the time, this was written 700 years ago, by the way, the book. So, it's kind of dark, but if you had a baby that died before it had been baptized, it had to go to this first circle of hell. And also all the people who lived before Christ, like even the good guys, virtuous pagans, people who lived honorable lives, but just happened to be born too early, they go to this circle. But Dante was also nice. He was kind of nice compared to many theologians at the time, that he made a very nice place here for the ancient philosophers and so on. And here Virgil talks to Dante. "Let us descend now into the blind world," began the poet, pallid utterly. "I will be the first, and thou shalt second be. Let us go on, for the long way impels us." Thus he went in, and thus he made me enter the foremost circle that surrounds the abyss. Alright, so I want some backgrounds back. There we go. So this background actually, it's a better light source, I guess. Yeah, so each circle has its own theme, its own music. Let's switch up the music a bit. Some of these songs are still in the vestibule, but mostly it will be new music. So, and the puzzle theme is also unique to each circle of hell. So in this first circle of hell, it's all about, before we learn to push boxes, in this it will be about pushing ladders. So actually it's kind of hard to see, but there's a ladder on this block here. I actually have this admin power, so maybe I can just change it to something. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Let's go. Set the color like that. Now it's a bit clearer, right? So I made this editor for the game. It's supposed to make it easy to edit stuff. Editor is probably not coming with a full game, maybe in a later release, but yeah. Right now you have to do all these small tricks to, change the lights and so on. There's just, yeah, it's not user friendly, let's say. I learned it, so I'm comfortable with using it. Maybe I'll improve it. Anyway, too much talking. What's this about? Well, we have to find a path to the exit. What does Virgil say? Careful about pushing the ladder block. You cannot push the side of the ladder without climbing. Maybe this tutorial text was not needed, and indeed you can turn off the Virgil hints if you like. But they're intended to be used. They're not really giving you a hint to help you solve it. It's most like, don't do this stupid thing and get stuck. You can always undo moves, but yeah. Anyway, there's a ladder here, so we can walk up this path and go to the exit if we could fill all these holes. So let's try to do that. And what Virgil told us, this we can push this box in any direction, but I cannot push it forward because there's just 4 movement keys. Walking into this ladder will climb it. That's one of the just core mechanics of the game that you have to accept and then learn to use it. So now there's no good way to get a hold of this box. So realizing that, and restart. Okay, now it didn't save my change here, but let's just do it quickly then. Anyway, so I have to first do this one, and then I can go to to next, like this. And once you figure out the general idea, the puzzle is not too hard. Except maybe this last part. I mean, how do you get this box without pushing this box too far? Well, if you put it here, you can climb the ladder like that and then take a step backward. And finally you need to fill this hole up here. And good. Alright, it's the first level of Limbo. And I, who of his color was aware, that the last section said that he was very pallid, Virgil, said, "How shall I come if thou art afraid, who aren't wont to be a comfort to my fears? And he to me, the anguish of the people who are below here in my face depicts that pity which for terror thou hast taken." So Virgil is not really scared, he's just sad for all the people who are suffering in this part of hell. Okay, yeah, so since I'm now showing part of the full game, you'll notice that not everything is perfect, and this is like a beta version. I still want to change some levels, and this is one of the levels I want to change probably. But the idea in this one is that if you push this big stack of boxes on your head, because ultimately we need boxes here, right? If you have these boxes on top of your head, you can no longer climb here, because it's blocking you from above, right? If I push off one box, I can climb one step, but then I'm blocked. So it looks like I can only carry one block at a time up this ladder. So we have to find a way to just get one block from this stack on our head. So I guess here we can get the first one. Let's put it up here. Well, I think, yeah, sometimes it helps to play with the camera. So if you watch it perfectly from the side, you can see the heights very easily of the different pieces here. And if you watch it from exactly above, it looks like another type of 2D game. But of course it looks best from some side perspective like this. Okay, and I need the last one. Yeah, I just think this puzzle is not too good. It needs to be reworked somehow. Got it. Oh, hold on, there's another one? Yeah, I guess there's 4. Maybe it's also a bit too much repetition with having to do something 4 times. It should definitely be improved before releasing the game. There, as it seemed to me from listening, were lamentations none, but only sighs that trembled made the everlasting air. And this arose from sorrow without torment, which the crowds had, that many were, and great, of infants, of men, and of women, and of men. So it's pretty metal, right? The infants, they go to this place in hell, they have to stand around. And like it says, these people, they're not really bad people, but they didn't believe in Christianity, I guess, was Dante's view, and they can't go to heaven, so they have to chill out here on the rock. It's pretty brutal. But so there's no torture yet. I mean, it gets worse the deeper into Dante's Inferno you go, of course. And I really like this picture. I'm happy with how the colorization turned out. Actually, I spent maybe 1/4 of the time working on the game just coloring these pictures. So they're black and white, and I try to add some color to them. It's a lot of work, and my artistic skills are not that great, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, so here I try to make this people under the rock. That's supposed to be them under there. Alright. Let's see what's going on this level. For some time since I saw this one, so let's see if I can still do it. I mean, you have to get all the way up here. It looks impossible almost. There's no ladders right here. But I noticed there are ladders up here. So what's going on with this weird looking tree? Here's here's some floating thing, and notice I can actually push that part off, and when I move, the tree falls down like that. This is resembling one of the first levels in the game a bit, I guess. The difference here is you can basically do two things for each piece. You can push it either down this side or down this side. So it looks like a good idea to actually sort the ladders. So let's push all the right-facing ladders down to the right, and all the front-facing to the front. Like that. So now I sorted them into two towers, and now I can't push this one, but I can use this one to push that. Okay. If it looks complicated, you will play around with this in the game, and you'll get used to how it works and what tricks you can do. One common trick is to use another block to push a ladder block. That way you can avoid climbing. So now I have some structure like this where I can use both sides, but it looks like I actually want one of the ladders on top of this piece. So when you realize that, it shouldn't be too hard to solve this one. So let's put that piece there. Let's see if I got this. And now there are two ladders of that kind, so I want them to be on the other side. So let's do like that, that, right? This should be perfect. So hope I don't push them too far here. I think we got it. Great. Right. So sorting ladders into different piles depending on their type. Yeah, and here Virgil mentions this. If they were before Christianity, so this is Dante's old style view of how things worked. If they were before Christianity, in the right manner they adored not God, and among such as these am I myself. So Virgil lived before year 0, I guess. So he actually comes from this place. He has been up just to fetch Dante, to lead him through hell. For such defects, and not for other guilt, lost are we, and are only so far punished, that without hope we live on in desire. Great grief seized on my heart when this I heard, because some people of much worthiness I knew, who in that limbo were suspended. So Dante actually feels sad for all these great people in this section of hell, but didn't really do anything wrong. Right. Okay, so all I need in this puzzle, this is kind of funny because if I could just push this block into here, I would be able to climb out, right? But now I can't do that because pushing here just makes me climb. Okay, so we have to get around that somehow. So I noticed that if I put the ladder block here, I can get up here and get a hold on this cube. Maybe it would be better to push it down here. If it looks weird that I'm jumping like that, it's me using the undo button. And you can undo any amount of steps, by the way. Well, I guess up to some limit of 10,000 or something. I mean, computer has finite memory after all. Let's see if I can do this. So the idea is I want to use the block to push the ladder into place, because I can't push the ladder in that direction myself. So let's see. So like this should work. So like I said, this circle is about pushing ladders in different ways. So that's a mechanic you learn here, that you can use a different block to push a ladder block. Here's a picture from another artist, I think called Nostradamus or something like that. I didn't color this one, it looks like this, the original work. From centuries ago still, it's very old. Not very far as yet our way had gone, this side the summit, when I saw a fire that overcame a hemisphere of darkness. Here's the fire. We came onto a noble castle's foot, 7 times encompassed with lofty walls, defended round by a fair rivulet. I guess it's a small river, right? Yeah, so there's 7 gates, and that's the reason why the exit here looks like big gates. I'm trying to make it look like they're going through these 7 gates in limbo. Let's see the lamp here. All right. Okay, before we solve this one, let me just see, check the stream again. How many people are watching this? Is there someone still here? I don't know how long the stream shows up in the live broadcasts. Oh, we're still there. It's almost 500 people here. Wow, it's crazy. Right. Okay, let's get... my internet is slow since I'm broadcasting. Trying to look something up. All right. So now let's try to do this one. So I like this puzzle because it looks... it's very tricky, I remember, based on very simple mechanics. So what we have to work with are these 2 ladder blocks. The only way to get to the exit, I think, since I can never get these ladders higher, the only way is to fill in these 4 gaps here to get to the exit via this ladder. And to do that, I need these 2 blocks in position here in the bottom positions. So I need to push these blocks into these holes. The problem, I cannot push this box in that direction upwards, and I cannot push this block in that direction. But I can actually push them in the wrong direction, right? So if I go like this, and like this, now I can push this block forward. And now I could do this, right? And put this one here. But then I can never get the other one into this hole, because I can never push that block to the right. So I guess this box needs to go here, right? It was more than a month since I played this puzzle, so you have to see how I try to think myself. Probably half of you already see the solution to this. Yeah, so this box definitely needs to go into this hole. Okay, so let's work based on that. Okay, so instead of that, can I... Right, so if I do it like that and like that, I can push... Yeah, this is gonna work. This box into that hole, this box into that hole. And we're good. We were a little distant from it still, but note so far that in part discern not that honorable people held that place. Oh, this one is really difficult. Yeah, but I like this one. I have to use this tree here. It's one of the more challenging puzzles yet. But actually, I don't want to show how to solve all the craziest puzzles. So let's jump a bit. So here, as well as in the demo, you can jump freely. In the normal game, you always have 3 levels unlocked. Come anyone by his own merit hence, or by another's who was blessed thereafter. And he, who understood my covert speech, replied, I was a novice in this state, when I saw hither come a mighty one, with signs of victory in coronet. Hence he drew forth the shade of the first parent, and that of his son Abel, and of Noah, of Moses the lawgiver, and of Abraham, and others many, and he made them blessed. And thou must know that earlier than these, never were any human spirits saved. So this is something still celebrated today in Catholicism, I think, that Jesus actually went down to hell. It was as part of this during the resurrection, kind of. And so since all these classic people from the Bible, like Abel and Noah and so on, well, they lived before Christ, so they actually have been in hell for like thousands of years. And here now Jesus comes, he smashes down the doors and he saves these people from hell. Yeah. The fun part about making this game was I had to read up about this kind of history and poetry and so on. You should really read this book, Dante's Inferno, if you haven't yet. Okay, this level is really cool, but tricky. So you notice, I mean, now I have these basic mechanics and I can build all kinds of machinery. So there's no scripting or anything, it's just based off the elements of the game. So here you notice this wood structure and it's stuck, you can only move it back and forward. And there's another one here. And what you have to do in this level is to construct a ladder. You somehow have to get these ladder blocks on top of each other. And it's very tricky, but once you realize the method, you can just do it pretty quickly. So I'll just show you the solution. If you put a block on top of this structure, you can do it like this to put it on top of your head. But if you first push a block like this, get it on top of your head, now you can move in and put this block below the other one, since the top block is blocked by this stone here. So now we have a ladder of height 2. I can push it off and then rinse and repeat. And this puzzle, I'm aware that it's a bit too much repetition in this one. It's a bit boring to have to do the same thing too many times, but maybe I'll change it before this game releases. It's just a beta version for now. But realize there's a pattern and you can just algorithmically do the same thing. Actually, it's not so bad, it's pretty fast when you learn it, and now there's an undo key so you can mess up without having any problems. And let's get the last one. And we have built the ladder. Let's go back. We ceased not to advance because he spake, but still we're passing onward through the forest. The forest, say I, of thick crowded ghosts. Yeah, this level is inspired by Steven's Sausage Roll, one of my favorite puzzle games. It's really good. I didn't like this. Oh, okay, so doesn't really have anything to do with that game, but the structure in one of the levels from that game looked like this. The puzzle is different here. All you have to do is to get these to the ground without getting anything on top of your head. And, it's actually trickier than it might look. Now, for example, I'm screwed because I can't get this thing off of my head. Let's make one more attempt here. Maybe I should start showing some other parts of the game because we've been looking at the same thing for a long time. Yeah. What time is it? Oh, it's already almost 8, so it's time to go someplace else. Where do you want to go? What circle do you want to go to? So if you're just joining us, this is all the levels in the full game. The demo is out now. It contains 20 of these levels. So yeah, the game is coming out soon. Please wishlist the game on Steam if you're interested, if you think it looks cool. I'm a small indie developer doing this as a hobby. Really happy with the feedback so far. Some people seem to like it. It's just a simple puzzle game based on pushing blocks, but gets interesting, and each circle has its own game mechanics. So let's just go to some different circle here. Let's go to maybe violence again. Yeah, let's go to violence. Violence is the 7th circle of hell. So they come into this stinking valley, the circle of violence. And I mean, there's some levels like this that you just have to kind of go through. It's, for atmosphere, every time you descend a new circle, you have to physically climb down. So there's some levels like this, but the full game has over 100 real puzzle levels, so it's not a tiny game. Right. They're just talking a bit about the circle. And this one was in the demo, I think. So it's the first part, the first level in the Circle of Violence. And here you learn that you can switch between them, right? And I like it when this mantle flies through the air, so let's use the long mantle. Switch it like this. Right, so Dante can go on top of this box here, and Virgil can... Oops. Virgil can push him. There you go, and then Dante can push this one here, and you can go here, and then Virgil can sacrifice himself like that, and Dante can walk on top of his head. Right. So with two people, there's lots of mechanics you can play with. These levels were a lot of fun to design. So they come to the first part of the Circle of Violence, people who committed violence against others in Dante's original poem here. Whence homicides and he who smites unjustly, marauders and freebooters, the first round tormenteth all in companies diverse. Right. So here's this box you can push, but here you need to use both players to both characters, otherwise you get stuck. This, I guess, and always Dante is the one that has to go to the exit. The place where to descend the bank we come was Alpine, and from what was there, moreover, of such a kind that every eye would shun it. Far from the mountain's top, which it moved, unto the plain the cliff it shattered so, some path would give to him who was above. Cliff had shattered before my path upwards. Alright, so this kind of puzzle I also like. This serves as a tutorial. Let's switch the music a bit. So here it looks impossible because you can never get to the second side here, let alone to the very top where you need to go. But this is the first level. You're supposed to realize that you can actually step on the other character's head. You can walk around with the guy at the bottom like this. So Dante can step off, and the only thing to do is to put this on top of his head, and then I guess Virgil can go here, Dante can step on top of it, Virgil can go to the left, Dante gets off, and there's a ladder here, and this part is a bit tricky. I think the correct thing, if I remember correctly, is to push it down like this, because now Virgil has a path all the way up here. Dante can get off and stack some logs on top of Virgil like that. Okay, maybe it looks easy, but I mean, it's easy to get stuck. If you think about it, you can probably figure it out. Virgil is apparently strong enough to carry his big stack, and Dante can go to the finish line. Great. Yeah, and here they come to the third river of hell, called Phlegeton. It's a river made of boiling blood, and people are in the boiling blood being tortured for their crimes of violence. And here you actually have to kind of construct a boat and go across. Oh, sorry. And I don't remember exactly how to do this, but you can fit these pieces together to make a boat. Yeah, like that. And then Dante can step on one side, Virgil can step on the other side, and together they can steer the boat like this. trick to this. I'm not going to show the whole thing. What's next? Yeah, now they come to this dark forest of black trees, and these people who have turned into trees in this section for their crime of violence against themselves. Okay, I feel like we need to make another jump. Where should we go? It's getting warm in here. All right. Maybe this part. Yeah, so they go through, is at the very end of the circle of wrath, in which the mechanic is light and darkness, kind of. You have to mix colors and so on. Classic puzzle game trope. And you come to the very end, and it looks like this. There's come this angel to help them. These are just atmospheric levels, a few here. And the good master said, "Even now, my son, the city draweth near, whose name is Dis, with the grave citizens, with the great throng. And I, its mosques already master, clearly within there in the valley I discern, vermilion, as if issuing from the fire, they were. And he to me, the fire eternal that kindles them within, makes them look red, as thou beholdest in this nether hell." So they come into this city of hell, and they meet these citizens among the graves. So here we come to the entrance of the Circle of Heresy. And the Circle of Heresy is one of my favorite places for puzzles, because here I try to implement classic, pen and paper puzzles and play puzzles and make them in the game with the mechanics that we have. Right. So this first one, I'm a bit ambivalent about these mantles. Right, so in this one you can push these rock slides to different places, and you should do it in such a way that you can make a path towards the end here. You can't see it right now. I think this one is supposed to go here. No, here. And now then this needs to be the other way. It's just an introductory puzzle. What am I doing? That's the correct place, and yeah, this one needs to be here, I think. Yeah, okay. Like that, right? Sometimes you need to change the perspective to see what's going on. The lighting is not the best here, actually. Maybe I should do something about that. Is it better now? I have to see a bit how it's made here. A bit orange light, maybe? Yellowish? I don't know. Yeah, so if you're just joining us, this is part of the full game. It's not released yet, so the demo you can play right now, but this part here is still beta version, so still have to polish it a lot before happy with the result. Upon a sudden issued forth the sound from one of the tombs, and so on. This is another classic puzzle implemented in this game. There's only one puzzle of this kind. I'm trying to make all the puzzles unique here. So what's going on? Yeah, it seems you need to form this red square out of the 8 sliding pieces. So Virgil gives you a hint here. So this is one of these classic 3x3 sliding puzzles. You can move these pieces around, and you need to form a red square like that. So let's see, I think I designed it to be pretty easy to solve if you do it in the right way, obviously. Right, so I think this one needs to go down. This one's supposed to be here. And this one's supposed to be here. And this one is to go up, so this should be good. Ah, wait, no. No, this one needs to be at the bottom. Let me try to get this right. So if I put this one in the correct position like that, and this one needs to be down here. Maybe let's do that first. Yeah, because this one needs to go here. It's not so easy as I thought, maybe. What the hell? Literally. Like that. Ah, okay. I'm mixing it up. This one needs to go there. This one here. And this one here. And now you see as I solve it, oh, actually, yeah. Maybe this is not completely polished yet, but as you solve it, you see that this bridge here to the right, it falls down, because the way this works, it's not scripted or anything. It's just some actual mechanic of blocks falling into place here that are connected to these ones. Yeah, so I need to have a look at that one. Anyway, got through it. And Dante continues talking to this guy, Farinata, I guess, in the grave. My computer is getting a bit slow here. That should be fine. Okay, this is the one from the demo, so let's try to solve it quickly. You can move this bridge, but in order to get it to the right side, you actually need to put all these blocks to fill this square down here. So let's see if I can do it actually by forming the square here. Could be interesting. And by that one. Not this one, but this one here. Sorry, it's hard to, I'm mumbling when I'm thinking. Stay focused on doing two things at the same time, right? Ah, but now this is perfect. So just, oh, but now I can't. It's a bit annoying. Do like this. I can fit this into place, and now I can just push the whole thing like that. Yeah, there's actually something I haven't added yet, but I'm keeping track of the number of steps people take. So if I show some data up here, you see I took, it doesn't show because I hid it, but it shows, the game records how many steps you take on a level. So I'm planning to include some achievements for you know, solving a level in the minimum amount of step, just for, you know, some amount of replayability. As it seems, there's a lot of levels, so at least I'm forgetting the levels after a while. I'm also considering for the full version to actually make harder versions of most levels, just for people who really like a challenge, because on many levels there's some small tweaks you can do to actually make it a lot harder. Not just increasing the size, but, you know, removing one important block that you need, and sometimes you can make a clever solution with this. Well, that's a later project. Flames between the sepulchres were scattered. It's flames from these tombs. And this is actually really cool. Just give me 1 second and I'll show you something cool that this puzzle is based on. This puzzle here is actually based on one of my favorite board games as a kid. Have you ever played this game? The Amazing Labyrinth. I'm not sponsored, of course, but I love this game as a kid. So in this game you have these tiles and you push them into different directions, and then this maze changes. The paths you can take changes. So you have to be really clever about it. So this level of the game is, well, it's inspired by that. So the thing you can do here is, yeah, so you see these 3x3 pieces are stuck together blocks, and you can slide them. So if I push from the left here, this whole part changes. And then I can push this one from the bottom, like that, maybe, and then I can push from the left up here. And what I want to do is, of course, to make a path from here to the exit, because then I can walk up this ladder and go to the exit. Okay, so, well, it's some things to keep track on. And here I made this, like Virgil points out, I made this one-way passage by using elements of the game. So this cube here, the only way to get up the ladders is to push this cube to the side, and then you can go up. But you can only do this once, because if you come down here now, this box blocks your way, and this is to not allow the player to abuse these tiles, because if I go onto the tiles, I can kind of slide them from above. But as it stands, you have to never jump down now from this path and go to the exit. So, I mean, there's only 4 options, right, in each step. But yeah, you know, multiplies the number of options, and it goes to a huge number quickly. So you have to reason about it somehow. So we need a path to the exit. I don't remember this solution, honestly. It's a long time since I made this puzzle. So I need a path from the left to the right here. And you can consider what the black tiles are on each of these and what's not going to be possible. So it would be nice to have this one here, for example, and then if I go like that, I could. But now you see the problem is I need a way to get from this line to this line, and for this I need some block looking like this, and I pushed that one too far already, so I think we're doomed here. Right. So I might as well restart. Okay. So let's see. Also, this one I don't want to waste. So I think maybe if I push this one first. No, actually, let's do. I think this one needs, the top one needs to go one step to the left first. I don't mind wasting these empty tiles up here. I can push them in. Now I can connect those two, and I have a nice finish line. But how do I cross this gap? I think that won't help, but... Oh yeah, this is it. I remember this now. I think this looks really cool. It really challenges your spatial reasoning. Not saying I'm good at this or anything, because this looks almost unsolvable for me. But if you do just one move, it's suddenly solved. Pretty cool. Right. So go down across this one-way path, and you can just walk across the path here. And I really like that puzzle. You should definitely get this game if you haven't played it. The Amazing Labyrinth. Loved it as a kid. Right. Let's not read everything. Here's some puzzle where these 2 blocks are magically connected somehow. The red blocks here, the shining red blocks. So when you push them, you have to kind of look at both places at the same time and only go, like, not go there, only go where there's not an obstacle on both sides. So maybe this path would be better. Yeah, I think so. Now this one's stuck. I can actually go change this one now, so it should be fine. And like that maybe. And now I can get it to the top. Oh, why am I doing this, by the way? The door has a hole here, and there's another hole here. So this whole red structure, it seems that I need to push it down these two holes. So I can't actually get it through this middle part. It's not wide enough. It's too narrow. So I have to do something like this. Not like that. I need to push it down like this. Let's see. That should be fine. Oh yeah, by the way, I really like this music theme for this Circle of Heresy. It's supposed to be kind of mysterious. Now I can use this side here. Wait, no I can't. How am I supposed to solve it then? I guess I need to actually fix this one. I mean, these puzzles are supposed to be solvable because I think I did it once. Ah, crap. I have to go here. And we're good. More than 1,000 at the gates I saw out of heaven rain down, who angrily were saying, "Who is this that without death goes through the kingdom of the people dead?" So these guys they're talking about are actually the fallen angels. There's angels who committed some crime and were thrown out of heaven. And everybody's pretty upset as Dante for going through hell without actually being dead. It's just going through to reach heaven on the other side. So this is puzzle game trope. Almost every game has this puzzle, I feel like. Not even restricted to puzzle games. It's called the Towers of Hanoi. You can have to play with it a bit and see that these boxes can be pushed only in these lanes here. And you see stuff are connected. So this one is connected to this one, for example. So when I move it into the correct place, I get a path here. I mean, it's a puzzle game trope, but I like this trope, so I'm happy to have a puzzle like this. And of course, it's only one puzzle each time. I'm trying to keep on doing that. And by the way, how is this all working? Well, there's some hidden machinery here. If I enter admin mode, I can break some of these blocks here and show you that when Dante moves here, there's some inner workings here. Yeah. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have broken the level completely. But you get the gist of it. Let's solve it quickly now. There's some hacks you can do. This is a classic kind of mathematical puzzle. The time it takes to solve grows exponentially with the number of discs, but 3 discs is really fast. It should be 7 moves, I think. Least number of moves. Each disc doubles the amount of time it takes and adds 1. So, the puzzle is completed and the path is formed. He's talking about the heretics here, the people who believed in false gods and so on. They punished here. This is also another type of mathematical puzzle. It's equivalent to this game where you have paper and you have some nodes and lines between them, and you have to like draw the graph without lifting the pen and without drawing the same edge twice. So what you need in this, you see there's 7 doors here and 7 keys. And the structure around each key looks the same. There's actually 2 trap doors like this. And there's a key. And the key is connected to the trap doors. So when you take the key, the holes open up. So now I can't go back here. But I can't push the box down into the next hole and go forward. So what this amounts to is that I have to walk into this one, pick up all the keys without ever going back. So we try something like this. You see, now I'm stuck because I can't go back across this way again. So now I can't solve it. So we're screwed. This is something in math called the Euler cycles, I think. Hamiltonian cycles, maybe. And it turns out it's important where you enter the puzzle. I think Virgil gives you a hint to that extent. So if I enter here, I think the puzzle should be fine, whatever you do. It's about the number of edges that each node has should be odd at the start and finish, not any other place. We got all the 7 keys up there and look through the doors. And here they come to the tomb of Pope Anastasius II, as it says on the tomb here. He was a pope who didn't believe in God properly, heretical pope. And here's a 3D version of this puzzle we saw before. So this is supposed to be the tomb, right? And similar to an old puzzle, you can kind of move this part here. And if you could just get this ladder to the exit here, you would finish the puzzle. So the only way to solve it seems to be to seal the tomb, fill up this 3x3x3 space by these 27, it turns out, blocks. And I made it a bit easier here by putting some grass on the pieces of the tomb that's supposed to be on top. So maybe if I make a second set of levels that are harder, I would remove that hint. And this is also based on a classic puzzle. Another second, I'm sure you play this one. This is a lot of fun. So this was of course the last puzzle, this Towers of Hanoi thing, where you have to move the pieces like that without ever putting a larger one on a smaller one. So that's the last puzzle we played. And this puzzle is pretty much this puzzle here, where you have this cube of pieces. You have the pieces and you have to put them back into a cube. And that's actually a really hard puzzle. Might be frustrating, but in the game this will be a lot easier because there's no way to rotate these cubes, so there's only the position of the block will be important. Doesn't matter, the rotation is already correct kind of. But still, I'm not sure I remember this one, so let's try to figure it out. I know where this piece is supposed to go, and this piece feels like it could fit snugly here, right? And now the only block I can put here is probably this one. I think, right? Because it has to have this green part on top. Alright, let's think. And now what's supposed to go up here? It looks like this piece. Definitely should be this piece. Okay. But now I'm screwed because you see there's a space down here. No way to fit it. So first I need to fit something there. And it should be actually this one, I think. But that's bad. Okay, so maybe I should start here before pushing all this down. So where can this block go? If it goes, it should go either here or the next one. So if this block goes here, are we good now? No. Are we? No, I think it needs to be reversed. Good thing I can move back a lot. So I'm pretty sure this one needs to go here. And then this one goes here. No, wait, it doesn't work either. What am I missing? No. I was right the first time, I think. So this one goes there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was seeing it wrong. So now this one goes here. Ah, perfect. Like that, and it's snugly, and the tomb is perfectly sealed. It's this tomb here of Pope Anastasius. Now we can actually climb up, push this way, all this way. Yeah. We didn't talk to Virgil, but he probably gives you some hint that... Oh, it's actually some backstory. We should seal the tomb properly, and we should be able to pass. Right, so we got it. Onto the left hand, he had turned his feet. Wait, is this... Okay, well, now we're actually already in the Circle of Iron, so we solved most of heresy in this stream. Should I show some? There's so many different type of mechanics. I don't have time to... Maybe what I should do instead of showing you too much is I should show like 1 or 2 puzzles from each section of the game. Let's do that. So we saw some of Limbo. Let's go to the beginning of the Circle of Lust. So they come to this place where nothing shines. Thus I descended out of the first circle down to the second, that less space begirds, and so much greater dole that goes to wailing. So the suffering increases the deeper they go in this hell here. So this was just like a level of descending and saying what the level of the Circle of Lust is. So this is Minos from Greek mythology. There standeth Minos horribly and snarls, examines the transgressions at the entrance, judges and sends according as he girds them. Always before him many of them stand. They go by turns each one unto the judgment. They speak and hear and then are downward hurled. So Minos decides, come all these sinners from Charon, and Minos says which circle they have to go to. He sorts the sinners according to their crimes. And this is supposed to be Minos here. And this is the very beginning of the Circle of Lust. You have to learn that there's locks and keys. So Minos is holding a key here, and if you look carefully you can see there's a ladder here. So you have to climb on top of Minos and grab the key. It's just an intro level, not really a real puzzle. I came into a place mute of all light, which bellows as the sea does in a tempest, if by opposing winds it was combated. The infernal hurricane that never rests hurtles the spirits onward in its rapine, whirling them round and smiting it molests them. When they arrive before the precipice, there are the shrieks, the plaints and the laments, and they blaspheme the puissance divine. So the souls here are caught in the hurricane. There's just another 4 lux level. I love this part. Dante and Virgil are having a little moment here, looking down over the Circle of Lust. I understand that unto such torment the carnal malefactors were condemned, who reason subjugate to appetite. It hither, thither, downward, upward drives them. No hope doth comfort them forevermore, not of repose, but even of lesser pain. No hope doth comfort them forevermore. It's a pretty epic line. This puzzle we saw before. Let's see if I remember. So this section is all about learning how to pick up locks and keys. Use them to get through doors. But it gets more interesting, definitely. This one I don't remember. There was some clever idea here. Let's see. It was about lining up keys, I think. Crap, I really can't remember how to do this. Well, if I... No, it's not gonna work. I can push this one here and I can go grab it, right? And then why not the other one? Same way, maybe? Yeah, now I got... okay. There's a problem. So I got the keys, but I can't enter here anymore because I blocked my path. So the ladder is here. It's a bit hard to see. Okay, so yeah. Wishlist the game, get the whole game when it releases, and you can solve this one yourself. Let's look at some other thing. This one is also included in the demo. It's one of my favorites because, yeah, you're tempted to pick up this key, but actually what you have to do is use the key as part of the path, which you realize if you try it. So you have to do something clever like this in order for it to work. Let's see. Yeah, and the soundtrack of Lost is supposed to be kind of relaxing and mystic. So now I get one more box, but I don't have the key anymore. But what we can do is use this one to replace the key here. So like this, grab the key, the box back, not that far back. Got it. Alright, let's show one more level from Lust. So here's a lot of boxes and some keys, and it looks like you just have to try stuff in order to get the keys here. Like you can do this one, grab this one, but then you could put it like that and you can actually pick this one off the ledge, but then you can never get the last one. And Virgil has a hint here that you can if a key is on a ledge in front of you, you can actually pick it up. So you could do it like this is what he's saying. Even if there's a ledge in front of me, I can pick this key up like that. And instead of trying, what you can do is try to figure out some symmetric way to solve it. And the idea here is actually to align the keys vertically. There may be other solutions, but this is the one I kind of intended. Line those up, and then you get down one level, and you can line those up, you get down one level, you line them up with a hole here, and then you get 1, 2, 3. All right, and here you meet some couple. These two actually have an epic story behind them, not included completely here, but it's a sad story. They fell in love, and one of them was married to another guy, and he murdered them both. This is why they're bleeding. Let's jump again. Now, let's jump to this place. This is the Circle of Gluttony, where people who eat too much go. According to Dante, this was also a serious sin that you could go to hell for. Your place in hell, if you're a glutton, is apparently the fourth circle. The third circle. Let's just check the screen for a second. Hope I didn't lose it. I think we're going until 9, so I still will have some levels to show. Pretty cool. Right, and this circle has this kind of melancholy bagpipes music. It's pretty cool. So this is just entering the Circle of Gluttony. circle of hell. You have to climb down like this. And the first one here is a tutorial level. In the third circle am I, of the rain eternal, maledict and cold and heavy. Its law and quality are never due. Huge hail and water somber-hued and snow athwart the tenebrous air pour down amain. Noisome the earth is that receiveth this. Right, so there's plenty of words here you can learn if you play the game. Right, we're in the third circle, and what's the mechanic here then? Well, Dante can actually push these gluttons. And the mechanic is that if you push them, they keep moving in the same direction until they hit an obstacle. Let's watch it again. Push this guy, and he keeps going, and he actually pushes another one, and then they stop moving. And Virgil says as much if you talk to him. Cerberus, monster cruel and uncouth, with his 3 gullets like a dog, is barking over the people that are there submerged. Red eyes he has, an unctuous beard, and black and belly large, and armed with claws his hands, he rends the spirit, flays and quarters them. So, this monster dog here from Greek mythology are torturing all the poor gluttons that are lying in the mud. It's pretty harsh as punishments go. And we're only in the third circle, it gets worse. Right, so here these people are lying in the mud, they're stuck. And only this guy is up here. What we can do is push him. And then he stops there, and you realize that you need to get him into this hole here, right? Because then you could walk the path to the exit. But it's not so easy to get him there. If I push him here, he gets stuck, and if I push him here, he also gets stuck. So let's actually restart. You have to think a bit about how the movement will work here. I think the correct way would be to push him actually to the left first. So push him there, and there, and yeah, so then he'll go there, 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 and there. Solved. And we're good. Let's climb to the exit, walk atop his head, and we have it. Howl the rain maketh them like unto dogs. One side they make a shelter for the other, oft turn themselves the wretched reprobates. So they lie and try to cover one side with the other and turn around. Right, let's skip some levels, there's plenty of levels. Like on this one, let's show the mechanic. Seems like it's impossible, but what you can do, like Virgil says, is that if you move quickly 2 steps, you can actually step on top of his head and ride to the other side like this. Here we got stuck in some hole. So you have to use that somehow. And this one I think is quite cool. It's one of the few puzzles that require a little bit of speed. There's almost no puzzles like this. It's just about thinking. So like Virgil says, this bridge here on the mud can slide back and forth, so you can control it like this. It's just a set of blocks. And you realize that if you get something in this space, you can walk on top of its head to the exit. But this guy, you can never get there without going down here yourself. And now he can never get up, so that was a bad idea. Oh, should have just undone these then. So actually you can experiment a bit, and the only thing you can actually do is to make him walk all the way back across this one here. Make this bridge here, and like this. And this is actually a good moment to quick save. Let's do that. And now I have to do it like this. Let's see if I can do it. To make him fit through the holes precisely. Nice! Got it. It's the tricky one. Yeah, this picture is really cool. So in my version, the circle of gluttony is all like brown and yellow and dirty. There's snow and rain. Yeah. another one where you actually have to ferry a cube kind of back and forth in order to solve it. Oh, it's the same picture. Here you have to... Yeah, I'm not gonna show everything. You can show the final boss. So in each circle of hell, the last puzzle is I call it a boss puzzle because it's supposed to be extra challenging. You have to you learn all these different mechanics, in this case about how gluttons move, and you get more and more used to it, and the last level really tests your ability to do it. And here they face Cerberus in the last level of the Circle of Gluttony. When Cerberus perceived us, the great worm, his mouth he opened and displayed his tusks. Not a limb had he that was motionless. And my conductor, with his spans extended, took off the earth, and with his fists well filled, he threw it into those rapacious gullets. So he put some sand in the mouth of Cerberus to calm him. And my version is a bit different. Right, so you can try. You see there's a ladder here on top of Cerberus, and you can't reach it. But if you go into the mouth here, he actually eats you. So, you're stuck. But now the ladder is down. So from this you can probably figure out that what you want to do is feed this guy, the glutton here, make him walk into Cerberus' mouth. And you can push him, but for him to walk into the mouth he needs to stand here somewhere. And he just, even if you put a box here, you learn this mechanic during the circle, but if I push him now, he will actually keep pushing the box forward until they're both stopped. So you have to be clever about it. But maybe this was a good start. No, maybe... okay. If I get him here, and then let's see how I do this again. Yeah, like this is gonna be good. So now I want him to take just one step forward here, so then I need to put both boxes as obstacles here. But now it should work. But now there's one more problem. When I push him, he falls into this hole there. So we need to fill that hole with a box. And the problem now is the boxes get stuck when you push them down. But what you can do is push one box down there and push the other one on top of it. Now you can get this one into the hole. And finally, let's see this guy being eaten. There he goes. And the ladder is down. Alright. So that was Cerberus. Thus we descended into the fourth chasm, gaining still farther on the dolesome shore, which all the woe of the universe ensacks. Cool. So now we're entering the circle of greed. It may look very dark here, but there's this rotating light around the spiral staircase. And again, some levels are just for atmosphere, but there's over 100 real puzzles in the full game. Justice of God, who heaps up so many new toils and sufferings as I beheld, and why doth our transgressions waste us so? Here I saw people, more than elsewhere, many, on one side and the other with great howls, rolling weights forward by main force of chest, as doth the billow there on Charybdis, that it breaks itself on that which it encounters. So here the folk must dance their roundelay. Okay, so it's about hard to understand what Dante says. There's this sea monster that's like a worm, and his skin kind of billows, and likewise these guys move, I guess. So in this illustration by Gustave Doré, the weights they're pushing are these huge bags of money. They're punished for their crime of greed. So here the guys are walking. The money bags. Here's the same picture. Let me open the window real quick. I have candles here, so it's getting really hot. Let's hope my neighbors enjoy the stream. All right. Okay, so in this circle, you have to learn about these inhabitants. So you see they don't behave like gluttons. When they come to a wall, they don't stop, they keep moving. So these two are actually the only type of movement mechanics in the game, but you can still do a lot of puzzles with it. So these ones follows a very distinct movement pattern, and you learn it here in the beginning of the circle. So they actually prefer to move clockwise. And this guy is not moving clockwise right now, but you see when he comes to an edge, there's only one way to turn, so he turns that way. But if I stand here, for example, he will prefer to turn clockwise when he hits me. And if I stand here, he moves like that. And you have to make him go into this hole, so you need to understand the mechanics somehow. You could try like pushing him like this in real time, but you don't need to do anything fancy like that, you just have to think. So now it seems reasonable if I actually stand in this position, he will come here, he will hit me, and he will turn clockwise. So that's all you need to understand about these guys. Then all the different puzzles follow from this mechanic. Yeah, not reading all of it. But Virgil here actually explains the movement here. They turn clockwise when they can. So let's see, what can we do in this one? So he's just walking around this square for now, but I think if I put, yeah, I want him, like I can't go down myself here because then I can't ever get to the exit. So what I have to do is to make him go into this hole here. It's a 2 deep hole, I want him there. And I guess I want him to walk from here and from here, right? So first I have to make him go into this place. And I can do that by putting this box here. Now when he hits it, he'll turn clockwise and go into there. But then he'll have to turn back there, so he'll keep walking. And now he's walking the other way. Let's see what happens. It's gonna go like this, like this, like this, but then he's gonna turn clockwise and go back here. So he's actually still rotating. But I think what I need to do is to have him exit this way. So then if I put a box over here, I think the puzzle will solve itself, right? Wait for him to finish his path. Now he's gonna walk like that, and just wait here. It's gonna walk perfectly into the hole there. All right, we can escape. Clerks, those were who no hairy coverings have on their head, and popes and cardinals in whom doth avarice practice in excess. So it's actually both the kind of greedy people and the people who, the opposite, they never use any money. No, the greed and the spendthrifts, they're called, the people who spend too much. And this is just a short level to show that you can walk on top of the heads of these guys. It's a very simple puzzle, but there's lots of things you can do now with these people. Oops. Look, the good thing is I have this undo key, so it's always undoes until my last move. Oh. You see how it's supposed to go. And what's going on here? Here we're combining some machinery and these two guys. So you see what I can do here is I can move this either to the left or to the right. And if I move it to the right, he goes to the left. He pushes one of those logs forward, and then the other guy pushes it to the left. So I can kind of decide what side I want him to go on, and decide which log I want him to, the other guy, to push. So then if I just do this in the correct order, I should be able to make a path here to the exit, right? So I guess I need like long, short, short. Let's try it. Long, and let's wait for him to go back. Can I do both like this? Is there enough time? Crap. Long, short, short, and now I need another short, right? Yeah, I need one more short now, I think. Now we should need a long. And finally, one more long. And now we can just leave them. Oops. I think this should be it. There's a ladder there. We got it. Here's another one. You have to push stuff on top of their heads, and yeah, I like this puzzle too. It's a bit trickier than it looks, maybe. And let's skip those levels, and let's show you something completely different now. What should we see? Let's look at some cool level. I like this one. So now they're in the Circle of Treachery, the 9th circle, the very last one. And this one is special in the sense that in most puzzles before this section, you have to kind of find a solution that I thought of more or less. Or you can make your own variation. But most puzzles from before have like planned solutions. You have to find the solution. In this section, it's more about creating the solution. So you have to... I didn't plan for an exact solution. There's many ways to do it, but you have to think for yourself. Oh yeah, I still haven't fixed this. Remember, this is part of the full game, so it's still beta version. So you see there's 2 keys here, but there's not any doors on the level, so there's supposed to be 2 doors over here. So let's just fix it real quick, actually. I have this door texture and door like that. So these 4 should be doors. Right, and then I need to rotate a bit. Okay, and let's save the level. And let's try to load the level. And the doors looks like they're there. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, so this is my level editor, by the way. You can do a lot of... it's quite easy to construct levels. So this is what I've been using for creating the game. Let's load. And that's, yeah. Okay, so you need these 2 keys, right? And here you have all these guys of different height, and if you push them, they will keep walking along the same rules as before. What's new with this level is that you have these breakable blocks. These first appear in the 8th circle. You can kind of carve your own path. And what you can do is actually create kind of circuitry with this. So if I make a hole here, for example, I can make them walk into that hole. And they'll just follow the path then. Still following the same rule. They try to move clockwise like that when they can. And now they're going to be stuck moving the other way. Now, what you have to do in this level is sort them. So you have to sort them by height. And you want all the tall ones, you want to go here, right? The tall ones need to fill up these spaces. There's 4 high space. And here you need the the 3 high ones, and here you need the 2 high ones, the ones of the same height as Dante, and then you will solve the level. So what can we do here? Well, the thing you can do is use these trees, because if we make a path like this, that goes like this, so if the very tallest guy goes here, he will hit this top block, so he will have to turn if he can. So let's use that to sort out all the tall ones. So then we have to build a solution that looks something like this. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, so if you're a tall guy and if you're small, you just continue forward, but if you're tall, let's make a turn here. So the tall guys will hit the top block and they will have to turn here, and they can walk here and start walking up the ladders. Now the medium highs and the low ones, they will just continue walking forward. So let's use the same idea and lead them past this tree, which is 1 block lower. Here the people of height 2 will pass below, and then we can lead them into this lane here, and the ones of height 3 then will move this way. Okay, so I think this should be a solution. I can exit here because nobody will make a turn at that point. You just know the mechanics and then you learn to use it. So here we kind of made a sorting circuit. Let's see if it works. It's beautiful, right? They all fall into place. Oh wait, what happened to the last guy? What happened? I still haven't tested this level so well, so maybe there's actually some bugs still. I think I know what could have happened. They're a bit close, so he falls down. Ah, okay. I see what's happening. So actually, you get to see how the level is made here. So the problem is that when as he's falling here down this hole, he actually has he takes so long to fall, so he tries to take one move forward mid-air. He hits this block and then he turns to the right. So an easy fix for that is to just fill up this hole with something. Let's make a snow block and fill it up there. Maybe I'll just, I think it was like this before, and then I thought, why do I have these blocks here making it hard to see? Yeah, so I'll fix that in the proper level later, of course. This is still a beta version. The demo is more polished. Now it should work. So you can kind of carve out your own puzzles in this way. It works, right? Oh, I hope the same thing doesn't happen here. Perfect, they're all standing in their correct places. I can go grab that key and that key. And let's see if I set, oh, now I reloaded the level in the wrong way, so there's no longer any doors. Like I said, beta version, full game will be fixed. Yeah, and there's plenty of interesting puzzles on this theme. For example, let me show you one of the ones I like the most. This is an epic scene, by the way, from the poem. If you're new, the game is based on this epic poem Inferno by Dante Alighieri from about 700 years ago. Camera is totally out of focus. Maybe need some light. I don't know. Well, you don't have to see my face to see the game. The game is based on this divine comedy, first part called Inferno. And in this ninth circle of treachery, Dante meets this Count Ugolino, I think. And Count Ugolino and Ruggieri, the Archbishop. And one of them captured one of the other guys, put him in a cell with his children, and made him starve to death. And it's really dark. At some points, the children starts asking, like, "Dad, please eat us." You messed up. So they're punished by one guy is chewing on the other guy's scalp for eternity. That's what happens. Anyway, in the puzzle, so they're in this treachery with the ice everywhere, and you can break these blocks. And in this one, you have this tricky problem here. You have a ladder here, and you can walk to the exit. Now, these blocks are special. They still break if you touch them. You learned this, by the way, in an earlier level. They break if you touch them, but this guy, if the other guy, which is not Dante, he will push them like normal blocks. So what you have to do is... Why is my camera not working properly, by the way? Fix this somehow. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, so this is one of my favorite puzzles. It's, So, well, in the full game, it will be more obvious how it works, because I'm introducing one thing at a time, kind of. But what you have to do here is you have to make this guy push these boxes into a stack of 4 blocks and put it here. That's the only way to pass. And this here is just a one-way walkway. You can walk up here once, and then you can cross the gap. And here, so you have to first prepare the level, then go up here, start this guy, and he has to solve the whole level. He has to push these blocks into a stack. And it may look impossible at first, but if you think about it, it's not that hard, I'd say. You have to think about the details. So I'm gonna push him into this lane here. He's gonna walk here up this ladder. And then it's gonna look something like this. I want him to walk here, turn clockwise, and push this whole stack of blocks. No, maybe I wanna do... No, let's do this instead. Let's make him go like this and push the blocks down in this way. And so I'm thinking something like this, maybe. I'm not gonna get it completely right the first time here, but I think it will be good enough for you to get the idea, I hope. Right, so can you see what's gonna happen? He's gonna walk up the ladder, he's gonna walk all the way here, he's gonna push this block until it falls down here to the ground. And then he's gonna keep walking over that block. So that block's gonna land there, and he's gonna walk here over the block on the ice. And then I want him to do something like this and go like that. So he's gonna walk up, he's gonna push this first block down. Crap, I think I may have messed up. Well, anyway, the idea is he should like push this stack in one step and then just repeat that pattern, right? So you need to kind of, I mean, there's probably many ways to solve that one, but you really have to think about what's gonna happen. He's just following the same simple rules, and you can make him do all this stuff. So I guess what I need is for him to first try to push this stack to the left and then turn. Right. So it would need really to look something like this instead. He goes here, there's a block here, let's just hack it for now. There's a block there, and he turns like this, he pushes it one step, he goes here, and then he goes up here. Okay, this is probably gonna work, but yeah, he's not gonna do the last part where he's pushing the stack into here. So let's see if I got it. Oh crap, I moved here. Let's remove gravity and using the level editor a bit just to show you. So the solution could look something like this. He tries to push the blocks and then he goes up there. He pushes one of them down. He walks the path we carved for him and he goes up there. And now he's actually going to succeed in pushing the blocks one step. And then he goes up there and he gets the second one. And then he just repeats this pattern. And what's going to happen, we're going to need 4 blocks here. So we need to think of some mechanism that after he's pushed the last of the blocks down, he needs to take another path, right? And there's some ways to do it. You can make some hole on this side here. Right. But now he's just going to leave the tower and keep walking the same path forever, unfortunately. That's the kind of puzzles you can do with this sort of thing. Okay, so I really love designing these levels. They're quite challenging, but you have to be real creative to solve them. Okay, let's show... Not going to show you how to solve it, but let's look at Lucifer. Behold these, and behold the place where thou with fortitude must arm thyself. The Emperor of the Kingdom Dolorous. From his mid-breast forth issued from the eyes, and better with the giant I compare, than do the giants with those arms of his. So Lucifer is chewing on some poor sinner there. Can I restart my camera somehow? It's something with the lighting, I think. Deactivate, activate. That's how you solve every problem with computers. Deactivate, activate. Okay, so you hear the music is very intense because you're facing this Lucifer, the king of hell. And, in the book they just climb down his fur through the center of the earth and reach Mount Purgatory on the other side. Okay, there's some more involved puzzles with some stages, epic images. Eating the 3 worst sinners of history. This center one is Judas Iscariot from the Bible who betrayed Jesus. The worst sinner of all time according to Dante. Other 2 I forget. I'm not sure I'll leave this puzzle in this state, but maybe I'll show you just because I think this one looks really cool. It's a really simple idea for this puzzle that you have to construct a staircase using these guys. So this guy can walk like that. And then if you think how it works here, let me just show you. So this guy should go first. And then this guy, and I should stand here probably. So now that we've constructed this automated machine that actually builds a staircase using just the same game mechanics as always. They just move in the same pattern with the ladders and so on. And it automatically constructs this staircase. Into the mouth of Lucifer. And you actually climb just like in the book down his back here. Right, and then, well, it's the epilogue. Maybe this is a bit spoilery for showing in the demo. I'm not going to show you the very last level. We skipped so much of the game that you still have a lot of challenging levels left, even if you watched some of the stream. I love this Gregorian chant, by the way. All the music in the game so far are by Kevin MacLeod. These are the songs I'm using. He has this awesome library, you can check it out here, of royalty-free music. And I'm using a lot of songs, there's like 70 of them, and it's because each circle of this Inferno should have its own soundtrack, its own feel to it. Right, so you can turn it the right way. Right, what else? Okay, we have just a few minutes left of the stream. We have to look at something cool. We didn't look anything at this circle of Wrath. It's another puzzle game trope, but this is about mixing colors. I kind of like this though. The problem with many games that do this is that they assume that the player has some knowledge of how colors work, how lights interact. And I try to remedy this by having this level. So Virgil says, pay attention to how the lights of different colors interact. Only white light will shatter this rock. So yeah, if you played the level before, what you learn in this level is that white light actually shatters this material up here, this porous rock. So white light destroys it. So then on the next level, we actually have to learn how these colors interact. So let's take red and blue, for example. Yeah, take these lamps and put them close together, and you see what happens. So this was actually fun coding this lighting engine for the game. It's supposed to work more or less like in reality. You see what happens is you get this magenta color. It's a mix of red and blue. And then green and red gives yellow, like that. And finally yellow and blue gives this color, which is called cyan. And mixing all the colors gives you white light, which is what you want for this level. So you bring this white light close to the porous structure here, and it will break like this. Oh. You see, there's some part remaining there, so okay, here we go. And the key that was on top fell down, and we can advance. So this whole circle is about using this lighting mechanics that takes place on the second river of hell called Styx. Yeah, and there's a lot of variations on this theme. Like for example, here you have this this guy moving here, and you can put some light on top of his head, and then you can move this. This is a directed light. You can move it to break these rocks. So I'm trying to make all the levels unique, and yeah, use some basic mechanics and use it in as many ways as possible. So yeah, last time I showed, we need this music by the way. Right. So last time we looked at also one of my favorite puzzles. Let's see if I can speedrun that puzzle before everybody leaves the stream. This one. This is an idea from Portal, right? It's a great puzzle game, Portal. And in Portal you have this companion cube, and it's this pink block. So that's what this level is inspired by. And in my version, you have to bring this block with you through the whole level. Let's see if I remember. I did this a few days ago now. So to fill in this gap, now I have access to this ladder. I can push these boxes down, put this friendly cube on top of the new one, and then I can use this tree here to push it off and get it on top of my head. Go up, now I can reach this place, put the ladder there, put this one into place. Yeah, you probably need to, I hope you don't get the impression that this is too easy, because I think this, during playtesting, this level is supposed to be kind of challenging, and some people struggle with it. But it's also the last level in the circle of Limbo, so it's supposed to be kind of a boss level. It's supposed to be a bit challenging. So here I need both these boxes because I can only push the ladder block. The only way to push it is to use another box like this. Oh, it's actually faster than I remember. Right. And we're gonna end, of course, with the nice scene in the demo where Dante and Virgil are facing the abyss, the precipice they're standing, and the infernal hurricane of souls passes by. Alright, so please, if you think this looks interesting, wishlist the game on Steam and you'll be notified when the full game comes out later this year. And yeah, I made this game from scratch in C++, not using any external libraries, so it's kind of a programming challenge for me. I didn't know any C++ before, so this has been a fun project in my free time. The demo is available on Steam right now, so play it. It consists of at least 20 levels, and if you think these are too easy, the full game will be a bit more challenging, I'm sure, because here's like some tutorial levels from each circle of the game and so on, so they're not too difficult. But yeah, full game coming to Steam soon, and play the demo today and you can wishlist the game right now. I hope you enjoyed watching. Maybe I'll do some other kind of stream in the future. And there's plenty of fun puzzle games in this Steam Next Fest, I guess, so take a look at all of them while there's free demos. Can I actually see, are people still on the stream? I guess no. So as soon as this stream disappears from the list on the front page, nobody finds it anymore, so that's just kind of how it works. Still a few people watching, it's very nice. I think I put 9 PM as the end of the stream, but it's still showing up on the list of Steam. Maybe they round it up by half an hour or something. The thing I also wanted to do on stream that I didn't do is to design a level, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll show you just briefly. So here's a debug build. This means I have this console here, and it also means the game will run a lot slower. You can see, because this is not optimized for performance. It's for creating levels, kind of. So I'll just show you a bit of how my process works for creating levels real quick. So here's a small one. So maybe if we just select all of it and hit delete. So here's Dante in an empty level. And let's turn off gravity. Okay, so what kind of level do we want to make? I had this one idea that I didn't explore, so I like coming up with a theme of a puzzle. Like, here's the thing you can do, the player realizes how to do it, and then they should, learn to use that theme of puzzling. So what we can do is, let's construct this kind of Minecraft looking block for now. I can make it down here, and then I can just fill the whole level with them. The floor, let's say. Okay, so we have this place. And then I thought, what if we have a kind of wall on which you can push off blocks at any height you like. So let's just make a wall like that. Some outside. And then let's just cut out, let's worry about making it look nice later. Let's just do this first. So I'm thinking something like this. So if I have a stack of boxes on my head now, I can walk into different places here to delete them. Actually, let's shift this a bit. That's right. So now, if I have, let's make some boxes real fast here. Put them on top of Dante's head. Let's see. He has some boxes, and I have to click here to make them static off, float off. So now they can be pushed, and they're not floating in the air. So that means I can move them like this. Let's quick save. So my idea is to, now if I walk here, something like, oh wait, oh right, I have gravity off still. Now gravity is back on. So this happens, then this happens, then this happens, and so on. You can push them off each at a time. And maybe if Dante instead pushes something in front of him. Let's see, so let's create just a piece of wood here. Let's change gravity, let's delete this, let's move him out of the way. Whatever. Deleting these. And let's just make, usually I have a tree stem like this that you can push. And on top of that one, maybe let's put some boxes. And this first shape should be merged, by the way. Merge shapes, where is it? There. Okay. And these ones should be not floating and not static. Okay, please get to see a bit how I make the levels. Now I have this thing I can push around. Let's not push it into the wall. And here's something like this will happen. Right. Yeah, so the thing is, you can only get half the amount of boxes on your head, right? 1, 2, but now the yeah, they will fall down because the top of me will also be blocked. So I'm thinking maybe we could make a puzzle where you have to be careful how many boxes you have on top of your head. So then I'm thinking I want some kind of gate that allows Dante to move through it only when he doesn't have too many boxes on his head and not too few boxes on his head. So I have some idea of how to do this. So if I try to make a little plateau here, we can put some grass on it or whatever. Usually I just design the puzzle mechanics first, and then afterwards I try to make it look nice. And let's put a ladder here. Okay, now I want him to be blocked if he has too many boxes on top of his head. That means I want something in mid-air, like here maybe, blocking him. So of course this will look weird in game, so later if this level works out I'll probably connect this to a tree or something to make it look natural. Okay, I'm saving, and what happens now is, it should be, if I get too many boxes on my head, like this, well, I can walk into this even if I have too many, they will just fall down. But now I can never move up, right? Because to move up I will not need to step up the ladder, and this block here is blocking me from above. So I could only climb this ladder if I had one less box here. So this is now a gate that allows passage if you have 2 or fewer boxes, right? So then the question is, how could we build something that allows passage if you have only if you have more than a certain number of boxes? And I haven't thought about this, but let's try something. So, well, I guess the thing we could do is something like this. I'm thinking there's laying some kind of structure and the boxes lifts it up. To allow passage. Okay. Maybe this is not so much fun for a topic of a stream, but at least you got to see a bit how the process is working. I also really like playing with this lighting engine. It's, having the light change dynamically honestly made the game look a lot better. Not saying this looks great or anything, but considering it's just a simple game with no game engine, just custom C++ code, you can set the ambience here. So this is what the game looks without the lighting engine. This, I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but it's hard to see the difference between different tiles, and everything is just uniformly lit here. So at least I think it looks a lot better when you add some lights. Create a new one, and then you can make the sun come from this direction. The sun, you want it to be yellow, and you want it to be far away, kind of. Let's put the ambience to 0 and use this part far away and high up as the sun. Increase intensity, and you can do all this, make it pulsating and so on with different periods. Alright, so there's lots of fun designing levels. It's taken a long time too. Alright, there's still, I don't understand why people are still watching. I mean, I'm glad you're watching. Consider wishlisting the game. Okay, it looks like my game is no longer listed. So that means, can I actually see? I guess it's only listed and there's a few people. But maybe I can see if there's still people on the page somehow, if I just find the streaming page. Here we go. Now let's show the game again. Well, I think so. Let's find the link to the event and copy and go. Doesn't seem to show my stream here. It's too bad. But all right. What should we do? Let's just speed run the demo one more time. If there's still someone here who hasn't seen it. Speed run with poetry. Let's go. Right. So we're in the tutorial. Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward pathway had been lost. Ah me, how hard a thing it is to say. What was this forest, savage, rough and stern, which in the very thought renews the fear? So bitter is it, death is little more. Really wish I could speak better English in this part. Cool. Let's see. Alright. Speedrun. Get to see how many times I've played this game. This demo version, at least. I cannot well repeat how there I entered, so full was I of slumber at the moment in which I had abandoned the true way. Let's get these boxes. This one is about not getting stuck like that. Among those was I who are in suspense, and a fair saintly lady called to me in such wise I besought her to command me. Her eyes were shining brighter than the star, and she began to say gentle and low with voice angelical in her own language. Beatrice am I, who bid thee go. I came from there, where I would fain return. Oh, but after I had reached the mountain's foot, which with consternation pierced my heart, upward I looked and beheld its shoulders, vested already with that planet race which leadeth others right by every road. Then my fear was little quieted. Did I get it? The styling on you now. After my weary body I had rested, the way resumed I on the desert slope, so that the firm foot ever was the lower, since he's climbing upwards, right? And there, swift exceedingly, a panther, swift exceedingly, which with spotted skin was covered over, and never moved she from before my face, nay rather did she impede my way, but many a times I to return had turned. Pretty much. While I was rushing downward to the lowland, upon my eyes I set myself on one whose voice from long continued silence was hoarse. "Thee it behooves to take another road," responded he when he beheld me weeping, "if thou this savage place wouldst escape. I will lead you hence, the people dolorous, and where thou shalt hear the desperate lamentations, shalt see the ancient spirits disconsolate cry out, each one for a second death." Day was departing, and the embrowned air released the animals that are on earth from their fatigues, and I made myself ready to sustain the war, both of the way and likewise of the woe. Which memory that errs not shall retrace. Now go, for one soul will is in us both, thou leader, thou lord, and master thou. Thus said I to him, and when he had moved, I entered on the deep and savage way. This one is too tricky to speak at the same time as. Here we go. Through me the way is to the city dolent. Through me the way is to eternal dole. Through me among the people lost for I. Justice incited my sublime creator, created me divine omnipotence, eternal wisdom and the primal love something. All hope abandon, ye who enter in. He lives the uncommitted who are opportunists taking neither side of good nor evil. Here all suspicion needs must be abandoned. All cowardice must needs here be extinct. We to the place have come where I have told thee thou shalt behold the people dolorous, shall hear the desperate lamentations, the people who cry out each one for the second death. Their sighs, complaints, ululations fill the air without a sound. Since I at the beginning wept thereat. And after it there came so long a train of people, that I never would have believed ever yet so many had undone. Forthwith I comprehended and was certain that this the sect was of hated wretches, hateful to God and to his enemies. It's not walking in this level actually. Maybe I should make it smaller. Lo, coming towards us in a boat, an old man, hoary with hair of elder. Woe unto ye, ye souls depraved! Hope never more to look upon the heavens. come to lead you to the other shore, to the eternal shades of heat and frost. And then, upon a sudden issued forth this sound from one of the tombs, wherefore I pressed fearing a little nearer to my leader. I had already fixed mine eyes on his, and he uprose erect with breast and front, even as if hell he had in great despite. Oh crap, deleted it. As soon as I was at the foot of his tomb, somewhat he eyed me, and, as if disdainful, then he asked me, who were thine ancestors? That guy is called Farinata. It's from Florence, just as Dante. And he has some visions of the future, I think, that they talk about here in the sixth circle of heresy. The fun thing about making this game, one of the fun things is I like this kind of history, poetry and so on. And I had to read up on a lot of this. I also read several versions of Inferno. Decided to stick with this Longfellow translation from about 200 years ago, but there's like 100 English translation or something like that. The nice thing about the Italian version, the original, is that it's in terza rima. It means it's made out of 3 lines of poem, 3 by 3, and the first and the last of them have the same ending, and then the middle one has the same ending as the first and last of the next set of 3s. So it's kind of... yeah, when you get used to it, you really like the sound of it. I heard on all sides lamentations uttered, and none person beheld I who might make them. Then I stretched my hand a little bit forward and plucked a branchlet from one of the trees, and the trunk cried, "Why dost thou mangle me?" And whence it had become embrowned with blood, it recommenced its cry, "Why dost thou rend me? Hast thou no spirit of pity whatsoever?" Pretty much got that one, I think. Played this too many times. I saw upon the sides and on the bottom the livid stone with perforations filled, all of them one size, and every one was round. Out of the mouth of each one protruded the feet of a transgressor. The souls were on fire, I think. The feet of a transgressor, and the legs up to the calf, the rest within remained. In all of them the souls were both on fire, wherefore the joints so violently quivered that they would have snapped asunder wicks and bands. I came into a place mute of all light, which bellows as the sea does in a tempest, if by opposing winds it was combated. The infernal hurricane that never rests hurtles the spirits onwards in its rapine. Whirling them around and smiting it molests them. When they arrive before the precipice, there's the shrieks, the plaints, the laments. The laments, and they blaspheme the puissance divine. Hope doth never comfort them forevermore. Helen I saw, for whom so many ruthless seasons revolve, and I saw the great Achilles, who at the last hour combated with love. Paris I saw, and Tristan, and more than 1,000 shades did he point out with his finger, who lost their life whom love had separated from our life. It's classical, Dante is inspired by this classical literature and lots of Greek mythology. So it's really hard to read the poem without references. What I tried to do is include a short dictionary that says, well, it just translates some simple words, more or less simple. And for people, it gives a very short characterization of them. This Helen of Troy, for example, he means by Helen. And this Tristan and Isolde, tragic love story. So, I mean, yeah, it's amazing. The poem is 700 years old. Actually, Dante died 700 years ago, like about a week ago. So, let's celebrate by playing a game about his Inferno. Let's not celebrate his death, but let's celebrate his life, I guess. that's it, the demo. I played it so many times I remembered much of it, much of the poem. Okay, so if you're still here, thanks for staying after the stream had officially ended, and yeah, say the usual stuff. You can follow this at Inferno Puzzle on Twitter if you think this looks interesting. There I'm posting some development updates and some things that comes up. The full game has 125 levels. Only 20 of these are included in the demo. And some of them, like this one, are just like for atmosphere, but over 100 of those puzzles in the full game will be pure puzzles. And all of them are unique and quite challenging. And I'm not bullshitting you. You can actually see the list of all levels here. You can see kind of there's stuff going on in all of them. This image is really cool, by the way. Oh, sorry, didn't show it properly. But this image is really cool. It's these people, and they have these robes that are gold on the outside, or they're gilded, but they're made of lead, so they're punished for some crime of fraud of some sort. Yeah, so there's all kinds of puzzles, and there's a snake one. People are being tortured by huge snakes. You can see them there on the ground. Yeah, so there's unique mechanics for all the circles and so on. 125 levels. So I really hope some people enjoy this game. If you like just puzzle games where you don't maybe care too much about the graphic, but you like heavy story focus and interesting puzzles that are very unique, I think you'll like this game. So at least give it a shot. Give the demo a shot, and wishlist the game if you like how the demo looks. All right. And here Dante reaches paradise. Let's end the stream here. Okay, so again, thank you so much for watching. Check out Inferno, wishlist the game on Steam, and I'll see you later. Good night.